My name is Jillian Bateman. I'm the Chief Development Officer of ESA, and I am excited to welcome you to our second ESA Membership Campaign 101 training sessions. I am joined today by ESA Chairman John Loud, President of Loud Security in Georgia, and our ESA CEO, Merlin Gilbo. We also have the full set of ESA sales and membership development teams on the call today. This includes Jessica DaCosta. She's our VP of Business Development, Sophia Dominguez, Director of Membership, Lashana DeJesus, Membership Development Specialist, and Kaylee Barrasso, Account Executive. We have an exciting new venture here at ESA, which is aimed at celebrating our 75th year, which is next year, with record-setting membership numbers. As you know, ESA is the largest and longest standing association serving the electronic security and life safety industry. We dedicate ourselves to delivering security pros the tools, resources, and experiences that can keep them competitive and thriving in the marketplace. While the folks on this call know very well of this, as you are all members of the association, making good use of your benefits to leverage growth and savings for your companies, there are many companies that are still unaware of what ESA is and the power it holds for companies like yours. Enter the ESA Membership Campaign. It's an awareness campaign that brings your voice to the table. I urge you, as we walk through this presentation, to think through different companies that are like yours that could benefit from ESA membership. There are many companies out there that primarily do fire, companies that are new to the space, and even long-standing companies that may have had leadership changes and are no longer members of ESA that could still benefit from ESA membership. You know, ESA specializes in the integrator dealer company type. You also know what ESA brings to the table. So your voice could not be more valuable in these conversations when membership is brought up for consideration. To talk to you a little bit more about the ESA membership campaign, with its origination starting at the Cobb Chamber and the impact it can have on the association, I'd like to welcome our chairman, John Loud.
Thank you, Jillian. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Greatly appreciate your time. We are going to have an action-packed hour and a half ahead of us here. There are going to be a lot of elements that you guys may be quite familiar with from an ESA perspective and offering, and there's going to be a few elements that are going to be a refresher touch-up on. But for the next few minutes, I'm going to kind of give you a few pieces of synopsis about this overall membership campaign and how the puzzles come together and how it can benefit and impact you. Do not worry that you need to have a pen and paper to write all this down. You're going to see a website here shortly that Jillian and team have put together that all these resources are going to be linked over to you. So you're going to be able to see a lot of what it is that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Also with some one-page slicks also that you'll be able to share later with some prospective members. First off, look, we're going to celebrate 75 years next year for ESA. And I can think no greater way, as Jillian shared a bit, when you think about the legacy of what ESA and BFAA has been all about. And to me, I talk about it as, together we can. We as an industry have put integrators and associate members together to deal with the challenges, whether it be in a particular state, a region, or some other elements that we get challenges in, but may prohibit us or not allow us to thrive and grow as an industry or organization independently on our own. So you guys know many of those examples that have gone on, but with 2,000 plus members strong, we are very strong. We realize that. But in the next year, I'd love to be able to see for the 75th challenge and expand that to go from significantly greater than 2,000, because every one of us on this call know that there are tens of thousands of other companies out there that are very viable that could kind of join and be part of the group to kind of, again, make us all better and stronger as we overcome any obstacles or unify to become beneficiaries of any opportunities that may lie ahead there for us. So let me give you a little synopsis of the membership campaign. First off, it's going to be a lot of fun. There is going to be neat challenges. And when I just look out there right now and think about George DeMarco and Kevin Stone and others on there, right? So there may be times that somebody knows a particular member or prospect out there, whether it's an associate member or an integrator, and they have some dialogues. they may hear from Utter first and may hear from Kevin Stone at a different time. And then George DeMarco is going to be the closing guy. And then Kevin Stone's going to say, but that's my credit. Just kidding, Kevin. We'll get you the credit, Kevin. But no, hey, there's 4 ways you're going to get credit. First off, your ultimate goal is you want to get $15,000 in credit. Okay, because what does that do? That's going to get you an opportunity to be on the trip that we're going to have next September. And we're going to announce that in just a little bit as to where the location, show you a video on that, and how it's going to be a mixture between integrators, associate members, all the volunteers that have been part of this whole entire campaign effort. But ultimately, to get on that trip, the main thing is to get 15,000 in credit. I will share a few other ways in a moment how you can get on that trip without getting to 15,000. So to get credit, there's 4 ways you can do that. One is to get a new integrator member to join ESA. Another is to get a new associate member to join ESA. A third way is to get a new person that has not attended ESX over the last 12 months, so last year's, the 2022 ESX, and get them next year to come to ESX. And as a campaign volunteer, you're going to actually be empowering them to get a $200 discount off of the deluxe badge and $100 off the executive badge. And whatever they do sign up within their company for members, all 1, 2, 3, or 5 of them, or however many it is, you're going to get campaign credit for them. And then the 4th way for credit is to have new increased advertising. So if there's an associate member out there that maybe you're an associate member and you increase your advertising through ESA, that dollar for dollar will become a value increase towards your credit, again, towards the membership campaign drive and your ultimately your $15,000. The one thing I want to make clear too at this point is that even though this is year 1 for the campaign and you get a new associate member or integrator member and they sign up for $600, let's say it's a new integrator member, you know, if they sign up the next year and the year after, you're still going to get compounding credit each year. So this is not just a membership campaign drive that we'd love to see for 1 year. We'd love to see you get involved and engaged, but just know that even if you don't get to 15,000 this year, you're going to have a compounding credit, if you will, once those folks renew the following year. Part of this is we want to have each of the volunteers kind of almost act like a mentor, if you will, or a guiding factor to say, hey, not only should you become a member, but here, I want to help you understand what gave me value or how I got engaged and how you can get engaged. And then you're going to kind of be their mentor to kind of tell them what they participate in or what they should attend to and different things like that. And for that, you'll also get rewarded by getting credit year over year in those examples. We just recently had a town hall that would love for you to share, kind of gives prospective members a great synopsis of all the different things that have been going on with ESA. But let me tell you another way you get on this trip without maybe getting to 15,000 in credits. And that is once you get 3 new members, whether they are integrator or associate members, once you've got 3 new members, you're going to get 1 ticket into a drawing. If you happen to get a 4th new member, that's going to be another ticket. The 5th member is another ticket. So 3 members get you 1 ticket. Each additional new member gets you an additional ticket in the drawing. So it may be that you got 5 new members and it only added up to $2,500, for example. You still are going to be able to have a ticket in the drawing that you're going to be eligible to be able to win this trip. The trip will be for 2 people. It is all inclusive. You will have $1,000 in flight vouchers as people are flying from all different parts of the country on different airlines of choice and different classes of service. So that's not a problem at all. Another thing with raffles, we're going to have, even if you don't make the trip, you're still going to have some raffle opportunities where you'll be winning some $500 gift cards to different things to, and Jillian probably will cover on some of that a little bit later, but there'll be other prizes beyond just the membership campaign trip that I do want to have you be aware of. Another area I want to let you be thinking through is sharing credit. So to that one example I was joking about, let's say I was talking to this company and then Kevin came in and kind of worked things out. The way the rules and regulations of the campaign really are, whoever actually brings in the money, whoever brought the credit card or the payment in, that's the person that rightfully deserves the credit for that particular one. But if there happens to be a company that, I don't know, George and Kevin and I or whoever, we kind of all collectively know together to say, hey, look, let's both work on that person or that company, then we're going to share that credit. So that's a nice collaboration approach, if you will. Part of the benefit that's going on, which is why Jillian's going to shortly introduce the team of ESA folks that are here to help you whether it's with the associates, whether it's with advertising, or whether it's with an integrator, is because some cases, the folks that are on the staff for ESA, they are considered per se sales people or sales team members by folks trying to sell me a membership. Whereas when you and I are out there talking to them about what our experiences have been, we're no longer trying to sell them. We're just kind of guiding or sharing with them. So once we kind of open that door to that sales opportunity and you bring in the partner person that Jillian will eventually share with you and you'll get assigned to, you're then going to be part of a team to be able to kind of, how do we unite and best get the information to them to help them to ultimately make the payment, join, become part of it, and hopefully we get to see them visit us at ESX in June of 2024. So, excuse me, 2023. That is June 5th through the 8th, by the way. So mark that down in your calendar. I think for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it to a quick, short little video kind of about the ESA membership, who our members are. And I'm going to have that quickly be followed by Merlin Gilbo, our executive director for ESA. So Jillian, if you'll kind of throw that video up. Thanks.
ESA members are some of the most successful and fast-growing dealers, integrators, and monitoring companies in the industry. We are the SDM 100. We are the fastest 50. We are the largest industry titans, and we are the family-owned businesses from throughout the nation. We employ over 500,000 industry professionals and serve more than 34 million residential and commercial clients. We are ESA, and we are the voice of electronic security and life safety.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the training 101 for our membership campaign. We're excited about the opportunity that this provides, not only you as a volunteer to get engaged with ESA, but also the opportunity it provides ESA to grow in membership. So I won't belabor the about ESA too much, because most of you folks know ESA. You've been involved with ESA for some time, and we appreciate that. But at its core, we're a trade association, and trade associations exist and are made up really as a collection of companies with common interests within a similar industry. Obviously, our industry is the electronic security and life safety industry. We've been representing that industry as the voice of the industry for the last 75 years, and we look forward to doing it for many, many more years in the future. One benefit that you might not hear a lot about today that I want to make sure is top of mind for you when you're having conversations with prospective members is our advocacy effort. We put a lot of time and attention into government relations. We monitor all 50 states throughout the United States for legislative activity that might either be positive or negative towards our industry. And then when necessary, we take positions on that legislation. We also do it at the federal level. We work very closely with our sister associations to SIA and TMA to also form positions and take action when it relates to legislative issues. So keep that in mind as you're talking to folks. That's one that not always a member sees the direct impact of that. In fact, there are a lot of situations where I've heard where we've taken care of legislation and members weren't even aware that the legislation existed. So having that strong advocacy effort is very important to a trade association and really important to our industry. For those of you that are not familiar with Zoom, hey, there's a chat feature, there's a Q&A feature. We want to hear from you. Feel free to chat and pose questions throughout this event, and we'll also take questions towards the end. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jillian so we can get started with the rest of the training session. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so John gave a great overview of what the membership campaign is, and I'm going to dig into the nitty-gritty details. So the ESA membership campaign through the process, we're asking you as very busy security professionals to dedicate time to working with each other, working with our sales team to spread the news about ESA. And so the first question becomes, what's in it for me? We realize that your time is valuable. And so we want to make this an engaging, fun experience for all of you. We will be giving prizes away throughout the campaign, the biggest prize of which is our big trip. And as John mentioned, it will include a long weekend at an all-inclusive Caribbean resort, which we will unveil later on in this call. Also includes $1,000 of flight credits for you to book your flights. And you will qualify for the trip by earning 15,000 campaign credits. So we're calling them campaign credits, but essentially you would earn those $15,000 in credits by selling $15,000 in memberships or advertising. And we'll go over that in a moment. So for every dollar you sell, it equates to a campaign credit. Now, you might be thinking 15,000 is a lot of campaign credits, and it is. You can quickly earn those credits, though, with advertising and membership, with ESX registrations. And we will be giving away prizes throughout the campaign to those, whether or not you reach that $15,000 threshold. And so depending on what you sell, you will be getting roughly 5% in gift cards or different raffles that we give throughout the campaign. We have one raffle today for the folks that are on this call, so we're setting off the tone right. And we will give a $50 American Express gift card to one person on the call today, and we'll spin that wheel for the raffle at the end of today's call. But we want this to be a fun experience for you, and we want you to be able to be incentivized throughout the campaign. We're also going to go over in today's call what you're selling. I will talk a little bit about the guidelines or the rules to the campaign, and then we'll review the campaign landing page, which will give you access to all of the tools that are available to you to help you be successful in this venture. So we talked a little bit about prizes. Like I said, we'll be giving gift cards away regardless of whether or not you meet that $15,000 threshold, and we'll be giving random prizes away. So maybe the first person to reach 3 members. We'll do raffles like that throughout the life of the campaign to keep you all engaged and to incentivize you as you embark on this venture with us. Eligible sales for the ESA membership campaign. Membership is first and foremost. It's really the centerfold of this campaign. And so you'll be able to sell integrator memberships and associate memberships. And the ladies on this call will walk you through each of those member types. Integrator is your typical integrator dealer type company. And our associate membership is made up of service providers and manufacturers like Mr. Hillenberg on this call. So we'll talk a little about those 2 membership types. You'll also be able to sell any new ESX registrations. And so if someone does a deluxe pass or an executive pass, those can add up very quickly. And as long as it's a new registration, that would be an eligible sale for the campaign. We'll also give you the tool set to be able to sell print and web advertising. ESA has a very robust media kit, which not all associations do. So we do our very best within those pages to answer all of the questions a prospective buyer might have about our web and print advertising. What's the traffic to the site? What's the circulation of the magazine? When is it distributed? All those questions are answered in our media kit, which is a PDF that will give you the tool set that you need to have conversations with folks.
Hey, Jillian, let me throw one quick thing in here, John, here. One thing, when you guys think about memberships, you're going to see in just a little bit when we get to the website, ESA is going to give you guys, all of us, if you will, as volunteers, some lead opportunities. In other words, these lead opportunities are folks that ESA members have worked to either get to renew memberships, but have just not had luck. And they may have some notes that you may go, oh, you know what, I know that person, or I know that company. I do work with them. Let me reach out to them to see if you can engage something. So that, again, you're going to have the partnerships of the ESA staff to kind of help guide you through what's been done in the past, where you go. So it's not just that you have to think about, oh, who are all these potential prospects are going to be, but you will see that there'll be a list coming up. But those are just the eligible sales. But I wanted you to think about the opportunity that ESA has worked on putting together for all of us also.
Great point. So the biggest guideline is that the sale would need to be new. So if someone is already a member of ESA and will review the membership directory tool that you'll have at your fingertips, it would not be counted towards the campaign credits. We have a professional in-house that works through all of our renewal calls and getting folks to renew and ensuring that they have what they need. So we would be looking for a new integrator or associate member. Having said that, for ESX or for advertising, if you work with a company and let's say they've always done a historical spend of $10,000 for Security Nation in their print advertising, and you work with them to increase that, maybe it's more additions, maybe it's a 2-page spread instead of a 1-page ad, the delta with their traditional spend versus what's new would be counted towards campaign credits. Let's say somebody always goes to ESX, but they only get an expo only pass. If you talk to them about the value of attending some of the education sessions and they decide to upgrade to a deluxe pass, again, that delta between the free pass and the paid pass would count towards your campaign credits. And finally, payment must be received. As John had mentioned in the beginning of this call, we have so many conversations with folks each and every day with the best intentions of joining, but however, never get around to actually submitting the application with the payment so that we can make them an official new member of the association or welcome them to ESX. So as folks are going through the membership application online, and we'll show you that, there is a section for them to say, which volunteer helped you? And your name will be added to that after you submit your commitment form. And they'll be able to select that you help them either with their ESX registration or with their application, and they can submit payment right then and there online. And then that would be counted towards your campaign credits. So tools to sell. You are going to get collateral. You can always request collateral. Let's say you're going to ISC West and you want some one-pagers, you'd feel more comfortable with that while you're at the show. We are happy to print some of the PDFs for you and meet up with you at ISC West. The lovely ladies on this call dedicate so much to the association. They sacrifice time with their families, as you all do, and they ensure that we're there and present at a lot of the major industry events. And are here to be your partners in this sale. So we do have collateral. We also have our membership directory. So I'm going to open our campaign website. You can get to it yourself throughout the campaign at esaweb.org/campaign. And I'm pulling it up here. So on this landing page, you're going to find a robust collection of different tools that you can utilize throughout the campaign to help you be successful. So up here, you'll see, again, a reminder of all the rules that we've talked about, important dates and deadlines, one of which being today's 101 call, but we also have different turn-ins. So being able to say, I sold this much thus far. Throughout the campaign, we'll use these turn-in deadlines to report back to you who's in the lead. We'll go over the commitment form in just a sec, but it includes just some high-level information about yourself. Probably takes about 5 minutes to complete. And it includes what you believe you can raise throughout the campaign. It's your commitment to ESA, that this is the number I'm striving for. Now, let's say you don't reach that threshold. ESA isn't going to hold you accountable for that. It just helps give us a good idea of how much we have out there. And so you'll sign your campaign and your commitment form for the campaign, and then also upload your headshot. And we will create leaderboards throughout the campaign so that you can see who's in the lead, who has the most memberships sold, who's the top revenue generator. So we will make this very competitive for all of you. We also have up here in resources, that commitment form I talked about. Takes a couple minutes to complete. You can add the different values you think that you can raise and upload your headshot. That's available again at esaweb.org/campaign. We have sections here that talk through the member benefits. We also have our membership directory. This is going to give you a live view at the current members of ESA. So let's say the company that you're working begins with alert. You would search the directory and you would find all of the companies here that have alert in their name. Now, our industry does have a lot of company names that are similar. So we've included the address here so that you can see by state where these members are coming from, but these are all members of ESA. It also includes their membership tier. There are folks throughout ESA's member base that have been members for quite some time, and maybe they've had significant growth or acquisitions throughout that time. If you work with, let's say, Alarm Alert in South Carolina, and since the time that they've reported their employee count, they've had significant growth that they haven't reported, we want to know about it. So if rather than 1 to 5 employees, they have 101 plus employees, that would be a different membership tier. And that would be an increase in their membership dues. So one of the really great things about ESA membership is it's tailored to your company and it provides benefits that are tiered to the number of employees that you have. And so that delta between the 1 to 5 membership and the 101 plus membership would be counted towards your campaign credits. So we've also included the employee count of each of the member companies here in your membership directory. Again, if you have any questions as we walk through this, absolutely type that in the chat or Q&A section of the Zoom interface and we will answer those. We've got links here to some of the different benefits, one of which being ESA member prices on the Electronic Security Expo, our national training school. So all of the courses available to the industry at large are offered at discounted rates for members, and our integrator team will go through that in a minute. But I am going to pass it over to Miss Jessica Costa, who can talk through the vendors and service providers. One of the fun things about this 101 training call is we have these passionate professionals here. Jessica and Kaylee, please wave on the vendor manufacturer side. You're going to notice that once you submit your commitment form, you're going to be partnered with one of these ladies on manufacturers and service providers. And then Sophia and Lashana, please wave. They are our integrator sales folks, and you'll be partnered with one of those professionals on your integrator sales. So that could be registrations or membership. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the benefits of memberships are for each category, and also common objections that the team gets, so that we can equip you to be as strong as possible in your conversations with these folks that aren't yet members of ESA. So Jessica, could you please talk a little bit about the vendor and service provider category?
Thanks, Jill. Hi, everyone. I am Jessica DaCosta, ESA's VP of Business Development. Both Kaylee Barrasso, who I will introduce shortly, and I handle the associate member and advertising sales here at ESA. We work very closely with manufacturers, service providers, monitoring centers, really any company looking to connect with security dealer and integration companies. And so you can find some of the key benefits in joining as an associate member right here on this landing page. But one of the big benefits is that they gain access to our Excel list of installing member companies, complete with contact names, email addresses, phone numbers, mailing information, and more. And so they can certainly utilize this list in their sales and marketing outreach. And each month we'll provide an updated list that actually calls out all of those new companies that we've added. So that way it's easier for them to manage. Above and beyond access to this list, they also have the ability to utilize the official ESA associate member logo on all their marketing materials on their website. As a new member, we'll take their company logo and description, their website link, and we'll actually push that out through a couple of different marketing vehicles that we have here at ESA. One being Security Nation magazine, and also in our weekly e-newsletter, which is called ESA Integrator, which actually hits over 24,000 security pros digitally. Additionally, associate members have access to our member savings program as well as our e-savings program. And our e-savings program is really neat. It allows them to offer a special discount or an incentive that's exclusive to only ESA's installing member companies. So if they can come up with an offer, maybe it's a discount, maybe it's some type of add-on. If they can come up with an offer, we'll promote that for them for free to our universe, just to help kind of push more traffic over to them and their website. And finally, they'll also receive exclusive rates on both ESA advertising options, as well as discounted rates on ESX exhibit space. So on advertising, non-members will have to add 10% to the list rates. And for ESX, members receive a savings of $2 off per square foot. So you can download the complete summary of benefits as a PDF right here from this landing page. So that way it's easier for you guys to share. So you do certainly have access to that. And then so once we get them involved with membership, so it really starts at membership, right? We typically then go into the advertising options outlined in our media kit. And you can download that media kit on this landing page as well. Jill, if you want to kind of scroll down. We've got it there for you to download, and that's where you can focus in on print ads and digital ads. And just note that this is the 2022 version of the kit, so we're working to get the 2023 version up there soon. Not much is going to change. We're going to have a couple of fun additions to add to it, but the pricing will all remain the same in the 2022 version. Also wanted to cover some of the types of questions that we get. So we typically get a lot of demographic type questions on who our audience is, how many members do we have, what markets do they serve? And so the media kit does include some very helpful demographic information for you already. And again, you don't have to be experts in all of this, just trying to share some little tidbits of information that you can have kind of in your toolbox. So some talking points that you can share might be that we have nearly 2,000 companies that are included in our network of integrators, and close to 1,500 of those companies have specifically opted in to receiving communications. Our membership is made up of all sorts of shapes and sizes, right? So mostly small to medium-sized businesses. That's really our sweet spot here at ESA. However, we do also have a handful of the larger systems integrators, such as the Convergence of the world. And our members are serving all different markets. It's not just resi. And I do think that this one's important because we talk to so many companies that think our membership just serves the residential market. And retail is actually the #1 market served according to some of the demographic data that we've captured over the last few years. So they're installing in schools, in banks, industrial facilities, restaurants, hospitals, you name it. Intrusion and fire are also not the only areas that our members are involved in. So video is actually the largest spending category for our membership. And access control has also grown quite a bit over the last few years. So I think that that's important to note in some of your conversations. And on the advertising front, we usually get questions about how large our marketing universe is and on performance metrics tied to some of the ad options. So we do have a print subscriber base of about 3,500 and a digital universe of over 24,000. And we've definitely seen growth in the level of engagement within our email community itself, which is exciting. And we measure that by the increase that we're seeing in our average open and our average click rates over the last couple of years. So just to kind of give you an idea, our sponsor emails perform really well with a 25% open rate and a 13% click rate. So these are really great metrics for our industry. I think last time I checked, it was between 2 and 3% average click rate, and we're up to 13. So really, really good stuff there. And our followers on ESA social have also increased, which is exciting. So when comparing last year's numbers, we have over 600 more followers on LinkedIn, nearly 300 more on Facebook, and over 100 more on Twitter. So the ESA Marcom team has really, really worked hard this year to increase our follower base. And we're just really excited about the growth that we're seeing in the ESA community. I think I'd now like to pass it over to Kaylee Barrasso. Kaylee has done such an incredible job recruiting new associate member companies over the past couple of years. Kaylee, would you mind introducing yourself and maybe talk about some of the things that you hear and share any other information that you think might be helpful to the group?
Of course. Thanks, Jess. Hi, everybody. I'm Kaylee Barrasso. I work on the business development team under Jessica DaCosta and aid in sales, again, towards the manufacturers and the service providers in our industry. So together, Jess and I sell associate membership, advertising, and all ESX related sales in terms of, booth space, sponsorships, things like that. So today I kind of wanted to touch on some common objections or comments that we'll typically get from potential customers, so you know exactly what to say to them and how to combat certain things. And I'll also kind of give you some insight on some of the materials we send folks to aid in their decision-making process. So one of the first objections I wanted to kind of touch on was in relation to membership. Some folks may comment on, our database size, where we're usually just around the 2,000 member marker on the integrator side of things. However, some folks may say, they're already in contact with a lot of these companies, or their database might be bigger. But one of the things that we always say to combat that is by calling out some of the key benefits of our list, and that is that it's really ever evolving, right? So this year alone, we've recruited over 170 new integrators to our community. And over the last 3 years, we brought in over 750 new integrators. So there's new blood on our list every single month, which are, new connections and relationships for potential customers to take advantage of. We essentially do the prospecting for them. So it truly is very, very valuable. Another thing to note is that when a company chooses to opt into associate membership, they're investing into a trusted nonprofit. All the revenue that ESA makes gets funneled right back into the industry. This revenue allows us to provide more tools, education, and resources to other integrator member companies. So the cause is really a good one. Another question you might get from potential customers are questions on demographics. Jess covered a lot of this before, but pages 4 and 5 of our media kit are extremely useful. I spend a lot of time on these pages with my customers so that they really can get a glimpse of our true audience profile. Again, it goes into things like company size, what verticals our integrators are working in, et cetera. And something of value that I can provide during your selling process is sample lists. So I can pull together lists of top integrators that we represent that will give customers, the full picture on the caliber of companies that are joining ESA. Like I can highlight current members that are on the SDM 100 list, the Fast 50, the top systems integrators list. I can kind of pull companies that are more commercial versus residential, because we do represent both types of integrators. So more than happy to share those materials to help you make the sale in that regard. And one last objection / comment that I wanted to touch on is in respect to advertising. So some of our customers might say that they do all of their marketing in-house. Like that's one of the main things I hear all the time when I'm trying to sell any marketing or advertising. So what I usually say to combat that one is that ESA is not just an industry nonprofit. We're actually a very well-known and trusted news source in the security industry. Our media is high quality. As Jess said, it reaches over 24,000 security pros in the space. So our publications are of similar caliber to, SDM and SSI. So the exposure customers would receive by doing items in our media kit are extremely valuable. They have a very wide reach. And something additional and value that I can provide on the advertising front too to help you make the sale would be I can provide performance analytics and metrics data on our various programs, such as our webinars, our e-blasts, our digital ad campaigns. So I can provide a lot of the stats on that sort of stuff from previous customers. So potential customers can see how well things perform. I can also send examples of previous sponsorships so they can actually see the content and kind of preview what they're buying. So that's something I'm more than happy to help with as well in your sales process. So all in all, I'm here to provide any samplings of materials you need, but you can also find a ton of those resources on our campaign landing page. And if there's no other questions, I am going to pass it back to Jillian.
Hey, Kaylee, Jillian, let me throw one quick thing in here. Sorry, guys. When you guys are thinking about prospects, and Kevin, Utter, George, let me give all of us an example here. As you see that leads list, number one is off to the side. We kind of want to have volunteers identify that, hey, you know what, I know that person, or I'm going to claim this lead opportunity, if you will. What we don't want to do is become a nuisance to a lot of prospective ESA members or turn people off or waste your time as a volunteer to be working on somebody that we know somebody else is already kind of communicating and working on with. So we're going to try to have that information out there to know that, this is assigned to Kevin Stone. Well, I want to say that if I personally have a relationship with that particular opportunity, I may reach out to Kevin and go, hey, Kevin, how's it going? And that's where some good collaboration could come in, because at the end of the day, remember, this is about, to me, leaving a legacy for our 75th anniversary to have more members and associate members and integrated members and participating folks with ESX in the long run than it is about the short run. The competition is going to be fun, but I want it to be productive for the volunteers as well as the prospects. So as you guys identify integrators, let the person that you'll get assigned to know that you have some interest in working this particular opportunity, because it may not even be on a prospect list yet. So if you'll put your name out there, then it kind of claims your rights to that opportunity first. And again, if somebody else later tries to call in and say, hey, I want to go after company alert ABC also, they may say, well, that's assigned to Kevin, which when we would probably encourage you and Kevin to have a dialogue to see where it's going, because Kevin may be like, yeah, I've tried, it's going nowhere. Hey, take it from here, George, or hey, Chris, you take it from here to see if you can get there. And then of course the discussion becomes later, do you guys share credit or is it somebody else's credit? We'll all work that out later. I just want to be sensitive to knowing that we don't want 4 or 5 people all working on the same folks. But Jillian, I'll throw it back to you. Thanks.
Thank you, John. And we will absolutely go through that in just a moment. So we talked a little bit about associate membership and the sales opportunities available to you through the campaign to vendors and service providers. I'm going to pass it off to Sophia Dominguez, who can talk a little bit about the integrator category.
Hey guys, thank you so much. So Jillian just mentioned I'm Sophia Dominguez and I'm the Director of Membership for ESA. Lashana is our membership development specialist, and we're going to go over really what integrator membership is. And it kind of sounds like this will not only aid your conversations or your prospecting or your sales to integrator members, but it's going to give you a really good snapshot of who our integrator members are for your conversations about associate members. So Jillian, if you don't mind, if I can share my screen real quick. I have a brief PowerPoint. I'm a visual person, so hopefully this will help you guys out as well. Give me 1 second while I get this loaded up here for y'all. Wonderful. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that well. And we'll kind of get on into it. Give me 1 second. All right, great. So integrator membership. What is integrator membership? We've been talking about it, but it is for businesses who are engaged in installing, integrating, repairing electronic security and life safety technology. These can be companies that offer monitoring, whether that's in-house, whether that's third party, or they cannot offer monitoring to their customers. Oftentimes, these companies are engaged with intrusion alarm systems, fire alarm systems, access control, PERS, what you guys are very well aware of. So it's important to kind of show you guys what the integrator membership levels look like. As Jillian mentioned earlier, our membership levels are scalable. So membership or integrator membership is really built to grow as the company grows. So you're going to see here in a second, our level 1 is for 1 to 5 employees, level 2 is 6 to 10, so on and so forth. So really it is built to maximize the value of their membership for that term, whether that's receiving a certain amount of discounts and really reaping those rewards, and also just expanding that membership to be inclusive to more departments, to more staff. And you guys will obviously have this available to you, so please do not fret. We're going to go over a lot of information, but Lashana and I are here, and we exist with this campaign to make sure that you guys get the most sales and that y'all are on your way to the Caribbean vacation, so don't you worry. All right, so I'm going to go over here some common misconceptions about integrator members. And why am I doing this? So I'm doing this to give you guys a good idea as to, we've been talking about these, roughly 2,000 ESA member companies that we have. Okay, what do they look like? Okay, so our current customer or member profile. Also the broader membership community. What are they doing? What markets are they in? What systems are they installing? Also, kind of touching on these common misconceptions, we'll go over the most common objections that Lashana and I hear pretty often. And it's also going to show you how far this value can really go for integrator members, for companies like yours, as well as that scalability factor that we've been talking about. So one thing that we hear often, that only or mostly companies in the residential market are ESA members, and Jess touched on that perfectly earlier. This is a myth. So we do ask new integrator members, what markets they install and service in. We provide them with a list to select one or more of those markets. And we found that actually only about 5% of ESA members report that they are residential only. Inversely, only 6% of ESA integrator members are engaged in commercial only. So it's very, very diverse, guys. Again, we give them the option to select one or more, and they're oftentimes selecting more than one. So while 71% of our integrator members reported that residential was one of the multiple markets that they do business in, also 40% of our integrators reported that commercial was one of the multiple markets that they do business in. So our community is very, very diverse. It is definitely not one or the other. This is just very broad, and it's a good snapshot of the broader industry as well. All right, and another popular myth that we often have to combat is companies that do not install fire alarm systems will not fit in. That is absolutely a myth, and thank you, Jess, for touching on that earlier. That's very important in both of our conversations. So we ask integrator members, what installation services they provide, and we give them the option to select one or more, and you can see that list there on your screen. And so what it looks like that, while a little bit more than half of ESA integrator members report offering fire as a part of their services to their customers, 45% of integrator members said that they do not install any fire alarm systems. And only 2% reported that they are a fire alarm installation only company. So again, completely, dispelling that myth that you have to be either an intrusion or fire. Probably most people on the call know that we used to be known as the National Burglar and Fire Alarm Association, and that name has kind of followed our community. And so luckily I'm able to kind of talk about that and dispel that myth, and hopefully you guys in your conversations will as well. The next one that we often hear is our company is too big to receive significant value through membership. We have too many locations, or we have too many, too many employees. Definitely a myth. So again, we do hear this often from executives in large companies, like, oh, we're not a small mom and pop. We probably do more business than what you're equipped for. Well, that's definitely not accurate, because looking at our member data, 23% of our integrator members have more than 51 employees. And 41% of our integrator members have more than 26 employees. So we definitely have that, again, diverse, community. And it really kind of pushes the most important thing that LaShawn and I really hold true to in our conversations with potential members is that ESA integrator membership is not a one size fits all. And so to kind of recap, speaking on those myths, those common misconceptions, we're not just focusing on fire or intrusion. Our companies are pretty much in multiple markets, and even niche markets, talking about, maybe the asset protection space, or the cannabis space. Companies can be of any size. And of course, integrator membership is scalable. And LaShawna, I'm going to hand it off to you to kind of speak about benefits and resources. And we have a huge laundry list of benefits and resources for integrator members. We'd probably spend about, an hour talking about all these benefits. But what LaShawna is going to do is going to highlight some of the most important ones to aid your conversations moving forward. So LaShawna, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name's LaShawna, and I am the Membership Development Specialist here at ESA. I work directly with owners and executives in this industry to fulfill their short-term and long-term business goals through our programs here. So each of these values or benefits on the screen are going to vary depending on the type of company you're working with, as well as their goals at the time. I'll be walking you through some of the integrator benefits that I talk about most with our prospective members. Our Member Resource Center, using our Member Resource Center, we provide each of our 2,000 plus member companies with direct access to exclusive networking opportunities and the technology and tools necessary to stay ahead of the curve. Our members, especially those with a vast market and consumer reach, find value in our state licensing guide. And this tool makes it easy for owners and training coordinators to understand license requirements across all 50 states. And with our National Training School, we are the leading provider of training, certifications, and continuing education for the evolving electronic security and life safety industry. We are the most widely approved education center for our industry by AHJs throughout the country for intrusion, fire, access control, video, as well as professional development. We have recently added training as a service, which is a customizable in-house employee onboarding program, as well as assessment exams to help our members make more strategic hires and to execute training programs more tailored to each individual. Our members receive up to 30% off all our courses, and we also provide a $250 training school gift card for new members. So when it comes to insurance, it's important to have a company that understands this industry as well as the risks associated with it. We created our own industry-specific insurance company to help with that, Security America. Now they're backed by Lloyd's of London, and roughly 70% of our members currently hold a policy with Security America. All of our members receive a 20% discount on their policy, and they're able to offer coverages as cybersecurity, general liability, workers' comp, and access and umbrella. Last year, ESA members saved nearly $700,000 on their policies. We also partnered with SIA to create an industry-specific job board. This is FAST, or Foundation for Advancing Security Talent. And our members will be able to list jobs for free through 2023 on this site. We also have some great committees and networking opportunities. So this one is Executive Management Professionals, and they're a group of security industry executives from our member companies, and they're committed to personal and professional development. This group of decision makers gathers monthly to share strategies, business models, challenges, and solutions with their peers. We also have ESX, or the Electronic Security Expo, and this is most popularly known for its industry-leading education programming, delivering actionable advice, and best practice sharing for opportunities with the pros in the industry. Now we'll have over 35 educational sessions, 8 networking events, and 2,000 industry pros in attendance. All our members secure discounted rates for attending or exhibiting. And this year, ESX is June 5th through 8th in Louisville, Kentucky. And we also wanted to include our case study. So this is 2021 membership value case study we included, and this shows our ESA companies of every shape and size, so you can better understand how our diverse network of industry professionals leverages our different programs at scale. Now, all of this information that we went over and more will be available to you guys throughout this entire campaign. And if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to the team. We're all very happy to help. And now we can pass it back to Jillian.
Shauna. That was great. I know we've given you a lot of information here about ESA, and hopefully you're excited to hit the ground running with new memberships and new registrations to ESX. I'm going to show you our member center here. So our campaign will officially kick off in January. However, after this call, you should be energized and have everything you need to start today. As I said, to get you officially involved in the campaign, we need you to complete your commitment form. And once you do, you'll be added here to our campaign volunteers and teammates list. And you'll get a link to this as soon as you complete your commitment form. You will each be partnered with one of the manufacturer, service provider, or integrator salespeople, and you'll be able to see who your partners are here in this spreadsheet. And then you also have access at the bottom here to our lead lists. So this might be a company that the girls have worked with that just haven't been able to move the needle with. And so you can say, as an official campaign volunteer, that you might have a contact for AAA fire protection, and the sales team will tag you to this, just as John alluded to prior, so that we aren't all chasing AAA fire protection. And so you'll be able to see the available leads to you. If there's a company that comes to mind and they're not on our member directory as being a current member, notify us and we'll just ensure that the sales team isn't currently working that lead, and we'll add them to your lead list. The same is available with vendors and service providers. So you'll be able to see here a lead, and if you have a contact there or would like to work that lead, we'll add your volunteer name there so that it's reserved for you. Once you join the campaign and complete your commitment form, your sales team partners will reach out to you. They're looking forward to working with you. Membership is very powerful, and once you go through those benefits, it really sells itself. But the sales team is here to aid you in those conversations or with data points that you might need throughout your conversations. So without further ado, I'm going to stop this and give you a little taste for what we have planned for this year's big trip. So if the campaign is something that has legs and we run with this, we'll select a new place each year. But in 2023, we will be headed to Secrets Cap Cana in the Dominican Republic. It's an all-inclusive trip, and we know absolutely that the people on this call and that who will participate in the campaign could absolutely go on a trip like this themselves. However, I think having some of the volunteers on the trip will be a great networking opportunity. It'll be a unique opportunity to be able to rub elbows with some of the leaders in our industry and have a good time while we're together. So we hope that we've answered any questions proactively, but I'd like to remind the folks on this call, if you have any additional questions or comments, please feel free to type them there in the Q&A section of your Zoom interface. I'm also going to welcome Daniela Chavez to the call today, who can share her screen and get our raffle going for today's American Express gift card. I know you're probably excited to see who won. Thank you, Daniela. Why don't we spin that one more time? Because Catherine won last time.
I was like, wait, didn't she win?
I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Poor John's name's not even on there. Utter.
Chris
Ooh,
Utter,
Utter.
congratulations. We'll get your American Express gift card out to you. Thanks for participating in today's Training 101 call. It looks like we went a bit shorter than last time, which is exciting. I know we wanted to condense this down. However, if you have any questions after this call about getting involved, about selling ESA membership, reach out to the team. We're happy to help you. And thank you again for dedicating your time today to helping the association that we all share and love. We'll see you on the next call, everyone.